a couple days ago. So everything you see here, we just made. So welcome everybody. Going to talk about OKX Guardian, the generational wealth tool that we built by West Coast, Best Coast. So let me ask you this, has anybody ever tried to give, $10,000 for the college kid, or grandma wants to give you $1 million for your inheritance? How do you do that? You go to a lawyer and they charge you a ton of money and they speak in these big long words, hard to understand. It's a very difficult process, right? And then later on the law comes in the middle and says, hey, you guys, the tax code changed, and guess what? You have nothing now and you have a liability. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to cut out this guy and then we're going to use this thing over here, OK Guardian, with something called what we innovated, deadmanswitch. Okay, so what it is a smart contract tokens that are distributed without any reliance on the third party. Very simply, the originator sets a timer, a reset timer, where the beneficiary can only take away their tokens once that timer expires. So it's up to the person to keep hitting that reset button to say, hey, I'm still around. It could be 10 years, 12 years, 6 months, whatever you want it to be. A time condition that is flexible. And then if they don't press it after several months, then, well, you can crack open the kitty and take the tokens. Very simple, right? When the time runs out, the tokens are released, okay? And it's not the originator who gets it, it's the beneficiary who can take it, all right? That's the most simple version. So here you go, you can see how it works, right? Originator, he sets the conditions, by beneficiary request, and then you have the logic. Lockup period expired, yes, no payout. Simple, right? So what we want to do is we want to show you this in action. What happens to my crypto when I die? Here's our code. Okay, so the first part is just constants and constructors. So you see how it goes, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. Bounces back and forth. Okay, so here he's onboarding. He's got the recipient address, OK coin, the amount of OK tokens, hits the comments, and then he proceeds, right? Creates, and here's like the terms, conditions, right? He sets it, programs it, use the QR codes for ease. Okay, and this is all live, right? He just made this in the last 24 hours, something like that. All right, so you can see, very simple. Right, here he is. See, 2 recipients, terms, how long, half year, 3 months, 1 hour. So all customizable. All right, and you can see it over here with all the uints, right? They have the constants. Okay, so there, it worked, right? Now the guy is, see, you see it right here. Reset switch, you hit it, right? Now you can delete it as well. It's like, okay, if you don't visit me every month at the retirement home, I'm gonna hit that delete. Better come visit me. Who's my favorite grandson? Okay. You see it on the Explorer, it's there. Okay, and you can reset switch, and you can create multiple of them, right? Now, maybe not necessarily for your kids, but it could be for a contractor. All right, guys, we got a bonus scheme this year. Whoever doesn't show up to work every odd time, I'm gonna hit that switch, keep hitting that switch, I'm gonna delete it. But in this way, my bonus is guaranteed. At least I see it on the chain. Okay, so he has a withdrawal, confirms, right? And if it doesn't confirm, then it kicks out. Switch has not been ready, right? And then it doesn't work. 1 hour later, right, because he's got a 59-minute timer, goes, hits the confirm, withdrawing OKT, and then we got success. Very simple. All right, now that's the most fun kind of way, you can create these contracts, but there's so much more potential with this very simple execution logic. All right, so what am I talking about? Let's look at the more interesting stuff of future features. Okay, so remember, it's just instead of just time condition, you can do things like transaction count. Later on, we want to add in credentials. So you have voters to vote on an outcome, a producer who actually makes these contracts professionally, and some kind of recovery credential, so you can have some kind of master account with the default, if there's no action on this wallet for 20 years, kick to a custodian account for recovery, show an ID, there no longer should ever be a dead wallet. If you have this on the bare bottom, then you have it, right? And then we're gonna add Oracle data feeds, and the outcome resolution vote is good because then you go into prediction markets. And then that just opens up a whole new ball of wax of potential. And finally, at the end, actually put these contract templates into an NFT so you can actually buy and sell them. And the creators of that NFT contract template will get paid for their efforts to create such a great living will or trust. And it could be tokens, it could be NFTs, whatever you want to put in there is up to you. Our simple case is cash money for grandson, and we go from there. And yeah. All right, so that's the gist of it. Any questions?
Yeah, we are open for one question.
Yeah, sure. I guess since this is future features in the roadmap, so can you explain to me like what would be your technical step-by-step as to let's say, oh, I don't have grandson, or like I don't have anybody, right? So if you want to incorporate a DAO, right, or like incorporate a nonprofit or a trust fund, how would you implement that with the Web2 world?
Okay, so who's your originator, who's your beneficiary? So I think who's the beneficiary may be more interesting, right? So the DAO would say, all right, we need a backup plan in case disaster happens. So we're going to stake a bunch of money here. That's our beneficiary pool to ensure that the founders don't do a rug pull, right? Rug pull insurance, okay? So then you have maybe some kind of producers or voters validators who will keep hitting, they didn't rug pull yet, but the second that happens, you can use a multi-sig, 5 to 7, enough voters go up, right? It goes back to the prediction markets, right? Up, rug pull, rug pull, rug pull. Is it valid, right? And if they try to do something nefarious and kind of fake a rug pull and just vote on it, then you have a credentialed guy come and say, no, all these IDs that had bad behavior, they get blackballed. It shows up. So that's kind of a DAO kind of insurance fund, using it in that way where the guys that are making sure, the gatekeepers, are they good? They're good, they're good. So then you see that fund is always there.
Can I ask, is this more of a pro bono work, or is there a business model behind it? How do you make money?
Like me personally?
Well, I mean the team.
Okay, so the team, well, we're making all these tools, right? So eventually we're going to do reference templates. We can make money here by people using our templates, okay? If they want to have additional services to create something more complex with complex logic, we can do a kind of service agreement, all right? I think the templates is one way to go, right? Because we can program it in, like these certain templates, we get a fraction of the volume that goes through. So we create like, $100 million fund, take 0.1% of that, and it should be sustainable.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.